Welcome back to As Above, So Below Tarot. Today we have a very interesting deck to look at, the Haindl Tarot by German artist and author Hermann Heindel. Those of you familiar with this deck know that we have a lot to cover here if we're going to check this thing out with any depth, but before we get into the deck itself, I thought we might delve a little into the life and time of Hermann Heindel. He was born in Germany in 1927 to parents who were both involved in the arts. In 1941, at the age of 14, Heindel began an apprenticeship as a theater painter, and 3 years later he was drafted to fight in World War II. He spent 4 years in Soviet captivity, where he, like many Soviet prisoners, fell ill and developed frostbite. In 1948, at age 21, having survived World War II and the Soviet gulags, he was released to Berlin, where he worked in advertising for 2 years. In 1950, he fled to Frankfurt to be with family and found a job as a theater painter. He gained some notoriety in the 1970s and then quit theater painting to devote himself fully to his art in 1980. From then onward, Heindel traveled to North America and India, gathering influence from the religious mythology of these cultures. In 1984, Heindel became involved in environmental protection and politics, fighting, for instance, for the renovation of the historic town of Hofheim. Unlike the creators of the more famous Rider-Waite-Smith and Thoth tarot decks, Hermann Heindel was not a high-ranking member of a fraternal occult order. He was an artist first and foremost, but as evidenced in this work, he devoted himself heavily to spiritual study in later life. On to the deck itself. The Haindl Tarot was published by US Games Systems in 1990 and was one of the first to deviate from the traditions of the Rider-Waite and Thoth decks. Unlike many tarot decks to come after, this was not necessarily a themed deck, although the imagery here is cohesive and somewhat self-referential. 2 books, one on the Major Arcana and another on the Minor Arcana, were written by Rachel Pollack and published in 2002. Pollack is a prolific writer on tarot and a towering intellect at that. Her companion books to this deck are still in print and are a must-have for anyone serious about studying Heindel's perspective on tarot. The Haindl Tarot is of course a strange work born of strange circumstances. It is perhaps one of the best snapshots of the 20th century as seen through an esoteric lens. Heindel existed in one of the most tumultuous, deadly, and transformative periods of modern human history. If Heindel is this deck's father, its mother is the rise and fall of the Third Reich, the emergence of the communist state, and the creation of the most deadly weapon known to man. Think of this as the bedrock of the Haindl Tarot. On the surface, this deck also includes influence from several esoteric systems and mythologies. Most famously, the court cards, for instance, are each attributed to specific deities and legends from the following cultures. For the suit of stones, referring to the element earth, they contain references to Native American mythology and culture. Swords, referring to the element air, contain figures of ancient Egyptian mythology. Cups, meaning the element water, contain references to European legends. The suit of wands, or fire, contains deities of the Hindu religion. So, in one deck, we have African, American, European, and Asian symbolism. In the Major Arcana, Heindel attempted to reconcile German and Hebrew occultism by including runes along with Hebrew letters. Some disagree with these runes' correspondences, but according to Manly P. Hall's Secret Teachings of All Ages, the Hebrew letters aren't exactly perfect in their attributions either. The runes, in my opinion, add a layer of meaning that is highly valuable when reading these cards. In cards 2 through 10 of each suit in the Minor Arcana, Heindel gives us Chinese I Ching hexagrams to complement the meaning of each card. These add a special layer of symbolism and depth in that the I Ching hexagrams can be reversed to reveal an entirely different symbolic meaning. This concludes our introduction to the Haindl Tarot by German artist and author Hermann Heindel. In my next video, we're going to be exploring some of the layers of symbolism in the Major Arcana cards. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Hebrew letters as well as the runic correspondences. and delving a little bit into the artwork and mythological symbolism found in those cards. Following that, of course, we will be looking at the minor arcana, discussing the I Ching and those mythological figures found in the court cards. Thank you so much for watching. Following is a brief flip through of the Haindl Tarot so you can get a good look at what these cards are. In the description of this video, you will also find links where you can purchase the Haindl Tarot and the 2 books by Rachel Pollack. If you have any questions, let me know. Again, this has been As Above, So Below Tarot. Thank you for watching, and peace out.